These Warhammer 40k statues are awesome, but damn, they're expensive. I bet I can do better. So in this video, I am going to be using my Frozen Muddy 4K to 3D print a kick-ass Space Marine statue, and the cost of this was only about $10 in materials. Now, if you are in the market or interested in 3D printers but you don't know where to start, I highly recommend Frozen because their quality is unmatched. Once all these parts were washed and clean, I got to work assembling this masterpiece of a print. Maybe you love 3D printing Warhammer 40k, and maybe you hate 3D printing Warhammer 40k. Either way, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a line in the comments so we can get a discussion going on that topic. Now yes, that was Henry Cavill's head. I actually grabbed this from a Superman bust, used Blender to scale it down, and even added some scars and stuff and made it fit into this model. So that's one cool thing about 3D printing, the ability to do stuff like that. So here it is, all printed off. This actually came out perfect. It was such a good print. The print is done, and as you can see, it came out absolutely perfectly. But I can't say that I'm surprised. After all, I was using my Frozen printer, so it always makes perfect prints. The next thing we're going to do is paint this thing up. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to paint a model this size, and I'm going to put a little bit extra into the base coating so that when we do those top coats, it really makes the model pop. I thought it was important to show you guys this. When I mix my paints, I mix it with Windex, and I go for the consistency of skim milk. So you can see what I do is actually put a little drop on a piece of paper and rub it with my finger. And then when it gets to the right consistency, I know that it's good to go. So I kind of mix on touch. Now I loaded it all into my gallery airbrush, and I got the priming, and I primed all of these parts up in the same color. Once that was done, I went ahead and used a big dry brush, and I dry brushed everything in ash gray. Now, I'm not exactly going for the slap chop method here. I am going to do something a little bit different. But once I laid the colors down this way, I then went in again with my airbrush and highlighted it up. I just used a little bit of sticky tack to keep everything together for me, so it would all fit in place. Then using my airbrush, I kind of shot on downward angles where the light would naturally kind of hit the model. And I used a really bright white here, and I just highlighted up different parts of the model. Now, I actually mixed my speed paints with some glaze medium and Windex again to really thin them down so they're even more translucent. And then I hit the whole model with it. Now, all the names flying across here are Patreon members. Even if you're a member for like one day, your name goes on the list. You guys rock. I appreciate the support. Thanks a lot. Now, I did decide to paint this separately instead of putting the whole thing together. Once it was all prime blue, basically, I went ahead and used some old gold by Vallejo and picked out all the gold parts. This is definitely my favorite color, gold. Now, I decided to just use my brush to apply the speed paints here on this bolter. Nothing fancy, but I figured I was going to go in and make it really rough and dirty looking anyway. Then a little bit of black. And finally, skulls. Now, this is not a 40k miniature without skulls, right? And there's definitely no lack of skulls on this print. They were everywhere you could basically stick one. Once that was done, I washed all the bone and all the gold in the Earthshade by Citadel. And I really like this combo on top of the gold. It makes for a really old, worn gold look. Now, in between all the pipes and tubings and armpits and groin area. I painted everything gray, and then I washed it with a contrast black. I picked out leather bits, and I also used some pallet bone here to pick out the purity seal. Then I did my white with a really lightly watered down white. I applied 2 layers here. Once that was done, I used Army Painter Speed Paint whitewash here, and I applied whitewash over the whole thing. Then using some gunmetal, I went in and I picked out the details of all the scratches, the bullet holes, any battle damage like that was already present in the model. Once that was done, I used a dry brush to brush up any of those areas that I painted black. And then I went ahead and just kind of like touched the model everywhere and added some battle damage, used a sponge and done like the chipping method to get a little bit more battle damage here. Once that was done, it was back to Henry's head. I just laid down a coat of elf skin, and then with a downward angle, I followed that up with a coat of pale flesh. And that just added for like a quick highlight of the face here. I picked out the eyes, the eyebrows, a few other details, and used a little bit of Army Painter Speed Paint Dark Wood to do the hair, which actually turned out really good. Running a YouTube channel is a lot of work, but watching the subscriber count grow and chatting with everyone in the comments makes it all worthwhile. We are always making cool stuff here at Facility D20, whether that be miniatures, dioramas, or props. So go ahead and join the facility by smashing that subscribe button and help us get to 20,000 members this year. Here we go. Bigger is definitely better. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Sorry guys. So this thing was sitting on my shelf for a long time. I'm really happy that I finally had a chance to print it up. I think Henry's head on here just makes it look even cooler. So if you enjoyed this video, there's some more here on my channel. Check them out, stick around, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.